Welcome to Village Stories. I'm Willie Clark, and I'm at the Callahan Neighborhood Center. Join me for the next few minutes as I highlight one of Central Florida's first African-American communities, once known as Pepper Hill. Now, no one knows for sure why the neighborhood was called Pepper Hill, but many people assume that it was because of the large number of African-Americans that lived in the community. Today, the area is called the Callahan neighborhood. It was renamed the Callahan for Dr. J.B. Callahan, who was one of the leading citizens in early African-American culture in Central Florida. As a matter of fact, this building stands as a monument to his contributions. To gain a little insight into what it was like in the old days of Pepper Hill, I visited with a group called the Pepper Hill Reunion, a group that gathers once a year to celebrate the cultural heritage of their old neighborhood that was once known as Pepper Hill. So someone tell me about the Pepper Hill Reunion. How did it get started, and exactly what is the Pepper Hill Reunion? Ms. Hardiman, can you help me out with that?
Yes, as I said before, my friends came down from New Jersey, and we just decided that we should get together and said Pepper Hill, we first named the Pepper Hill Gang. Mm-hmm. And we just have a get together. Uh-huh. And then 2 years later, Alfreda decided that we should do it again. And then from there, we had the first one at that place, the Tributes, and then from then on.
So how long has it been going on?
About 8 years.
About 8 years. Mm-hmm. And so how many people attend? I mean, now how many people attend the last?
Over 100.
Over 100 people.
Over 100.
Are there people that are just all still here in Orlando, or are they?
No. They from different parts.
So people come back. People that lived in Pepper Hill.
Yes,
come back from all over the country.
We had a girl that she comes down every year named Bernice Dalton. And she calls herself the Black Bottom Queen.
Black Bottom Queen.
Uh-huh.
Okay, now what's the difference between Black Bottom and Pepper Hill?
Oh, well, it's no different. Okay. But it was just an area. Now, how they got the Black Bottom name, it was the dirt was real black down there and real slimy.
Okay, so that's why they call it Black Bottom.
Yeah, that was, and it was mucky.
So it was like
and
just
so
messed up.
You know, when it rained, they would have to have boats to push them out. They couldn't walk out there with so much water. So
we're talking about the good old days. Huh?
Yeah,
so why did they call Pepper Hill Pepper Hill? I mean,
well, you know, we never find that out. We ask people why did they call it Pepper Hill? Okay. Like I said before, we know why we call it the Grove.
Cause I've heard two stories. I heard that one because of the large amount of black people that lived in the area, and I've also heard.
Well, nothing was over there but black folks.
Okay. And I also heard that it was because everybody had a pepper tree.
No, because we never had a pepper tree.
Y'all didn't have a pepper tree?
No.
So anybody have a pepper tree?
Oh yeah, a bunch of people have pepper trees. Yeah, I used to steal pepper.
Yeah.
You steal peppers?
But I don't know why. I don't know why not. I think the Generals had a pepper tree, didn't have a pepper bush. Okay, but other than that.
So peppers and collard greens, you hear me?
Peppers and collard greens.
Yes, sir.
So it could have been collard green here, right?
Yeah, but we don't know. We don't know why
now,
they call it.
Why do you think it's important to do the Pepper Hill reunion? Why do you guys think it's important to get together every year?
That make you think.
All of our friends that come down, we get together and have a good time. We think about and talk about what
the old times.
The old times, because Bernice, she is so much fun when she comes to town.
Okay.
Right.
And we just all get together at somebody's house every year. After we have the reunion, we had it last year at Miss Howard.
Okay.
But
the lady sitting there.
She's sitting right across from me.
Okay.
But the second year, we had it at Babe Black's house. Mm-hmm. And we always had a wonderful time.
Okay, so you're talking about together. So what was it like growing up in Pepper Hill?
Oh my gracious!
Well, come on.
Go ahead, Nita.
I'm gonna yield to Norma.
You're gonna yield to Norma.
Go ahead.
Yes, because I want to.
Was Norman always a rascal?
Well, I can
yes. Was he always a rascal?
I love
yes,
the
yes.
Yeah. What was it like? What was it like?
Yeah.
Well, growing up in the neighborhood of the Pepper Hill, everybody was your mom and daddy.
Okay, so you couldn't get away with nothing.
No, nothing you got away with.
But I heard you got away with a few things.
No, my grandmama took care of that.
Okay.
And then everybody, it was just like a family in the whole neighborhood. We'll fall out, we'll fight with each other, Next day we back together. But the parents didn't come like we fight. Like Bay and I was fight. Parents didn't take no part in that. You go home.
Okay, who's Bay?
Bay Black.
Oh, that's Bay. Okay. Okay.
And so, other words, everybody was your mother and father. Even the neighbor next door. They don't have any kids.
Right.
But you lived in the neighborhood next to him. He chastised you. You would get a whooping.
Okay, you find it like communities are different today.
Oh, it's altogether different. Because
if
if I got a whooping for cursing.
okay.
I was with some boys. They was cursing. I said I wasn't. But Mr. Joe seen me. And he saw me with him. I got a whooping.
And that means you got a whipping.
Yeah. And then I went home and grandmama took care of it.
I got 2 whippings.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But it was just that way. But we had togetherness.
Okay.
And nobody had like the parents would fall out. No parent fall out about you about me and Bay fighting and all. You went home and got what you supposed to get.
Okay.
And the next day things went like it was supposed to.
Because now I'm not going to ask who won when you and Bay was fighting. Okay?
No,
so
no,
I'm just going to leave that out because
Yeah.
I want y'all to start fighting now.
No.
But
No.
but what was it? I mean, what would you do? I mean, because a lot of times people think of black communities as like pretty much deprived, and you hear people like portray them as if everybody is like sad and moping and not having any fun at all.
We was all happy.
And I know my upbringing wasn't that, and I'm just wondering if it was the same during the, because it's like what 50 years ago when you guys were growing up there.
I think the foundation 50 years ago was the church.
The church, okay.
The church.
Yeah, you had to go.
You had to go to church.
Okay.
And en route to the church, there were many things that you were involved in before you arrived at the church.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And then when you arrived at the church, there's some things that you did in the church that you were that you were kind of devilish, that you were criticized, and you got that little tapping and went outside and corrected you. But in that area during that time, I think the church had a lot to do with the upbringing.
So the churches were all like the anchor of the community.
The
and people
anchor
would
of the
participate a lot more,
community. And the little neighborhood stores where they on the way to church, Norman would, put a pocket full of,
well, Miss Kelly and be going to Sunday
I was going to ask,
school.
what were the...
He would put a pocket full of the lady can in there, and we go to church.
Well, she didn't need it.
What were the businesses like in the area? What kind of businesses were around?
But I tell you, the
My uncle had
businesses.
he was the first one that
I
had
think the 50s, we're talking about 1949,
yeah.
No, before that.
48,
Before that.
47,
Before that.
47,
Yeah,
on back.
before
Okay, just
that.
on back. Okay,
Yeah,
go
my
on.
uncle was the first black
Yeah.
man to run a drugstore.
Your uncle was, there wasn't that
Paradise Sunday, Mac Harden.
Okay.
When we had a cousin,
Where was it
on
located?
Pepper's at,
Where was
on the
it
corner of Paramount and Jefferson.
Okay,
He had a
but
restaurant, and on the back, my aunt, they had a beer garden.
okay.
But we
Restaurant and a beer garden. Okay, that's a good
And then
combination.
down the street was XY.
XY?
That's where the older men would hang out at.
Okay, what was XY?
XY was a place for grown people. Jezebel dad and my dad and
To do
all.
grown stuff.
No children go
Yeah,
there.
the grown people do grown
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, they go there and do their thing.
Okay.
but
We
Mr.
had to go down to Mac, down there to the Paradise, to do our thing.
Okay.
But Mr.
So-
Mack, before then, we had a black store
Okay.
on Lee Street, which was ran by Walter Hardeman.
Yeah,
That was a grocery store, the first black grocery store.
Okay.
And before Mac Harden, Mr. Evans had a beer garden right there on Westmont. That was way before Mac
Okay, so
Harden.
this is when the
that
whole,
was the same
Yeah,
time
that was
Mac
before-
Harden.
this was
No,
when
no,
the
no,
whole,
no,
let's
that
say,
was before
African
Mac
American
Harden.
community was
Yes,
really,
it
because
was.
Pepper Hill really was the first African American community in Central Florida.
Right.
And that's when it began to, I guess, develop as a community. So you're seeing a lot of businesses and stuff. What types of things did you guys do? You go to movies? I mean, what type of games?
Go to the movie every day but Sunday.
Every day but Sunday.
Didn't go on Sunday. And don't let nobody ask your grandmother or your mom about the movie on Sunday.
Good.
Because you got to
And are these the types of things you talk about when you get together for the reunion?
Yeah, think about
what's,
the
what's
whole
your
time.
fondest memories of growing up? I mean,
I
maybe if
tell
each
you.
one of you can take an opportunity to say, well,
Oh.
what's the best thing you remember about growing
Best
up?
thing
in
I
Pepper Hill?
remember getting off them down lamps and outdoor toilet. We had, that's what we grew up with.
Okay.
In the ice, in the ice box.
Yep,
And the
yeah,
ice
ice box.
Ice box.
And my grandmother, she was a seamstress.
Okay.
So she had 2 lamps in her room where she made clothes. And I'm the only one there. I had to keep them lampshades.
Okay.
Oh, the wood stove. Because we had to clean up.
That's the best cooking in town.
The wood stoves were good, but we had to cut up the wood and then clean the stoves out with all that soot and dust or whatever. But you know what? We find that some of those things what we were cleaning out was good for our bodies.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we learned by cleaning.
Okay, Ms. Hodman, your favorite memory about growing up in Pepper Hill?
Oh, growing up in Pepper Hill, I was we would hop the train. We would come.
While it was moving?
We had a freight train while it was moving. So
Okay.
my brother and Bay, they were good friends. They was hopping the train, throwing off the ice, put it in the refrigerator, and me and Sally would hop the trains too. They didn't want us to hop the train. Oh, y'all girls, y'all ain't got no business hopping the train. So we would hop the train. We would catch the train right there on Westmoreland and Robertson. No, we would catch it on Westmoreland and by the Bells. That wasn't Robertson. No, that wasn't
you were
Robertson. That
like
was
the only girls that hopped the train?
that was no, but we would catch it. We would catch it. Yeah, we would catch it at the factory and come on round to Miss Kelly's store and jump off. Cause I remember Daddy had told me, my brother told him about we was hopping the train, and Daddy had told me I better not hop the train no more. And when me and Sally hopped off the train, we were right there on Westmoreland and Robertson. And when I jumped off the train, I jumped right under my daddy's arms. He was standing there waiting for the train to come by.
I guess you were in a lot of trouble.
And honey, you know what he done?
What did he do?
My dad.
I gotta hear the end of this story. I gotta hear
it
this.
was some it was some trees right there, oak trees. And my dad always kept a little knife there for cane. He loved cane. He got me that day. He said, you know what? I'm going to get you for the old and the new. All them things that you done, I'm going to get you good today. And he jumped up in that tree and come down with a long switch. And when my daddy got through with me right down on Westmoreland Street, it wasn't a leaf on that switch, but the switch
that was back
was
in the day
there.
when you didn't spare the rod.
No,
Not like
no,
today.
no,
My grandma, she'd be electrocuted.
no.
When she used to whoop me.
Let me ask you.
And it's another good thing, we would always be glad for the fair to come, because that was all our amusement on the north side was the fair. Everything that we went to, we had to go to the movie right there on Church Street, which was the south side.
Okay.
And we didn't have we didn't have nothing over on the north side but the fair.
The fairground.
I said the fair when the fairground.
Let me ask you this. I mean, there's an effort right now going on to hopefully redevelop the area and restore it to what it was. You know, and I would think there are probably people that are around Central Florida that say, well, why? Why are we saving the Pepper Hill area? Why are we doing anything in the Paramount Heritage area? I mean, can you think of it something you can say? I mean, why is it important that we preserve these neighborhoods?
But you know what? They saying that they was doing the Paramount. They put a little bushes there on Paramount, you know, to make it look better. But Paramount is still Paramount.
But why is it important that we come up with an effort to make it even better than what it was? Because we know we have the effort that's going to be ongoing.
For history.
For history.
Yeah, for memories.
Okay.
You know, everybody want to be remembered.
Historical sites. When you, for instance, the old Jones High. Okay, during the years, my mother was the first person to graduate from Jones High School.
Oh, really?
In the 10th grade. 2 years later, they added the 12th grade.
And her name was? I mean, your mother's
Eloise
name.
Haley.
Okay.
At that time, it was Eloise Mays.
Okay.
And the house was right directly in front of Mount Zion.
Okay.
But she was one of the first to graduate. No, it was Johnson Academy.
Okay. At that time, right?
And then they went from there to Jones. 10th grade from 10th to 12th in 1931. She graduated from 12. And at that particular time, there's history in my family because my brother was the last one to graduate from the school before they went over to the new Jones.
Okay. That's interesting. That's
Well,
interesting.
Mary, what year you came out? When my aunt came out, They had certificates this long, this long.
That's what I have, the large,
The
the
big
large.
one.
A long one.
That was 31 that my mother had.
But Mary Alice had one like,
Let me ask you this as we get ready to try to finish up. Would you say that growing up in Pepper Hill was the best times of your life?
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Would everybody in the room agree with
They
that?
made
Yes.
better women
Yes.
and better men.
Better women, better men. And on that note, we're going to go ahead.
You know the women wouldn't let you touch them.
But I was looking.
On that note, we're going to go ahead and depart. But thank you all very much and much success in your reunions in the future.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Clark, why were you interested in,
Thank you, Anna Hardeman, and all of the members of the Pepper Hill reunion. I'm standing now by a bust of L.C. Jones, who was the principal of Johnson Academy, which was the first school for African Americans in Orange County. It was later renamed in his honor and it now stands as Jones High School. Thank you very much, Dr. Jones. But we've heard enough about the area's past. Let's talk a little bit about the future. Special Assistant to the Mayor, Walter Hawkins, joins us now to tell us about an effort to revitalize the area, which is called the Paramount Heritage Development Corporation.
Thank you, Willie. Let me just share a few minutes with you regarding the Paramount Heritage Development Corporation, which is a development corporation that was recently reorganized by the Mayor and Commissioner Daisy Lynham to look at redevelopment area for revitalization for the Paramount area. What we want to do is focus in on 4 areas of concern. 1 is public safety, 2, housing, 3rd, economic development, and 4th would be a community school. With those areas, we wanted to have a clearly focused strategy that will help to change the image of Paramore, to look at an opportunity that will provide safe community as well as improve housing for the area, and to eventually bring back some economic development or some businesses to the area. So we are very pleased with the direction of this particular corporation and hope that we will have the citizens' participation as we move forward into the year 2000.
Thank you, Walter. I'm sure Dr. Callahan and also Dr. Jones will be proud of the efforts to revitalize their old neighborhoods. And I'm pretty sure they're just ecstatic about the Pepper Hill reunion. Thank you for joining me for this edition of Village Stories. I'm Willie Clark.